So there was a special election today. The Democrat Lamario Nicholas Brown, the State Senate District 18, Lamario Nicholas Brown got 40.99% of the vote, didn't get to the required 50+1. The closest person to him with all localities reporting is Eric Wilson, the former mayor of Forsyth, with 20%. Lauren McDaniel got 17%, and Stephen McNeil got 17%. Two other Republicans got a little over 1%. And Mr. Nicholas Brown, as we have seen, got the majority, 4,000 votes he got. And Ms. Daniel and Mr. Wilson split pretty much the Miss Daniel, Mr. McNeil, and Mr. Wilson split the rest. Republicans should win in a runoff, but here's what we're seeing: 5, 6, 7 Republicans jump in a race, and 1 Democrat jumps in a race. But I want to read something to you because it's important. I'm going to go to the phones in just a second. Mr. Brown, you've been listening to the radio clearly, and you've been watching social media. I don't know Lamario Brown. I have no idea who he is. Never heard of him before, nothing. In this race, the special election is in Bibb, Crawford, Houston, Monroe, Peach, and Upson County. So replace Republican John F. Kennedy's, who's running for lieutenant governor now. I don't know Mr. Brown, but I've heard him described as a communist, a socialist, a Democrat socialist. I've heard him described as a far left progressive, a radical. I've heard every single name thrown at this guy. I just want to tell you what he's saying in his own words. Mark Kelly came down from Arizona to Forsyth on Saturday to rally supporters before they went on a canvass launch. This is what he has said. He has framed his campaign around affordability, healthcare access, and economic development. Okay. Sounds good to me. I have no problems with affordability. I have no problems with healthcare access, and I have no problems with economic development. Now, I don't live in that area, so I'm not going to vote for him, and I probably wouldn't vote for him, but I'm trying to tell you. Here's his quote. "We have a chance to make history and flip this district. Being a farmer here myself and a small business owner." Doesn't sound like a radical commie socialist to me. Being a farmer here and a small business owner, I realize the importance of economic development and having those policies working in our favor and making sure all the constituents here in District 18 feel like they're being taken care of. Sounds pretty good to me. Eric Wilson's a former mayor. His priorities include lowering property taxes. Well, the state house is trying to do that, so that's good. Issuing state income tax rebates. The governor's already done that several times. No one's against that, so that's pretty much a layup. And that could total up to $3,000 per family. Throwing money to the voters. Okay, I'm not being critical. I'm just getting to a point here. And limiting what he described as frivolous lawsuits. We just passed that law to help reduce insurance rates. We just passed that. So what new are you coming to the table with, Mr. Wilson, who's going to be in a runoff with Mr. Brown? What are you coming to the table with that's new? Not you're the Republican. At this point, I'm trying to tell Republicans you've got to help people. You want to lower property tax. Okay, that's being talked about right now. So you go to under the Gold Dome, you're going to do like every other Republican and lower property taxes. Great. Did you do that as mayor? Let me ask that question, Mr. Wilson. And I'm not being critical. I'm trying to help you right here. As Forsyth mayor, did you lower property taxes? Because if you didn't do it as mayor, I being part of the legislature, you're going to cast a vote like every other Republican. And I'm sure Mr. Brown, who's a small business owner and a farmer, he probably wouldn't be against lowering property taxes either. He's got a farm. So right there, you're kind of the same guy. Issue state income tax rebates that can total up to $3,000 per family. How can you income tax state rebates up to $3,000 a family? And limiting what can be described as frivolous lawsuits. They just did that. They did that last session. We've already done that already. You're gonna make it do more? I don't know. What are you coming with that's new? Mr. Brown, the Democrat, is speaking to what voters in that area and all across Georgia want to hear about. Healthcare access. Rural hospitals are closing. How are you going to help that, Mr. Wilson? Healthcare access. Can you do something for the people in this Senate District number 18? When they get sick, where do they go? Because Republicans get sick as well. I don't think maybe guys don't realize that. Mr. Brown is talking about affordability. You don't think the average income in that area is like $80,000. That's really nothing after taxes. Where are these people going to, or are you going to make it cheaper for them to buy groceries? What are you going to do for affordability? And economic development. It's the rural areas. Brian Kemp ran successfully his first term on bringing economic development to rural areas. Mr. Brown, the Democrat, is talking about economic development. You're talking about lowering property taxes, issuing state income tax rebates up to $3,000 per family. At that household income average in your district, no one's getting $3,000. And limiting frivolous lawsuits. That's what you got? No, what you have is an R before your name, and that's what you're banking on. Come up with new ideas, Republicans. Steal Mr. Brown's ideas. If you know they're going to vote against him because he's got a D next to his name, steal his ideas. Run on affordability, run on healthcare access, run on economic development. I don't know a Republican in the state of Georgia, MAGA, GRA, GOP, Rhino, Patriot, I don't care what you call them. I don't know a Republican in the state of Georgia that doesn't want affordability, healthcare access, or economic development. Not a single one. Why is the Democrat running on better issues than a Republican in a state Senate district runoff special election? You know why, ladies and gentlemen? I'll tell you why. As I said yesterday, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I'm light-skinned. I can get blue in the face. Because you have an R next to your name and the same plantation you're on that you accuse Democrats of being on. They just vote for them because there's a D next to their name, and you just vote for them because there's an R next to their name. That's it. The so-called radical, socialist, communist, radical, progressive is running on affordability, healthcare access, and economic development. You against that? That's radical to you? The Republican is running on lowering property taxes, as they all are. Everyone's for that. Even Democrats would be for that. I'm talking about Democrat voters. Democrat politicians, not so much, but Democrat voters would be low. There's not a Democrat voter in the state of Georgia who doesn't want lower property taxes, unless they're a renter. Issuing state income tax rebates that could total up to $3,000 per family. In a district where the averaging household income, not individual, household income is $80,000? Really? They're paying that much in state income taxes? That they get up to $3,000? And limiting what he described as frivolous lawsuits to help reduce insurance rates. We've already done that. My point here, Republicans, is stop relying on the R. Yes, it's a 60-40 district, but there are a lot of people who may not be interested in any of those things and may be more interested in affordability, healthcare access, and economic development. We better get wise. And we better start delivering on those promises that we made when we ran, or else all hell is going to break loose in the state of Georgia and nationally. And you're going to look up, and your pundits on the radio and in television are going to tell you the Democrats are radical, progressive, socialist Democrats. And they're radicals, and they're communists, and they're going to come and get you, and they're going to do all of this stuff, and they're going to fearmonger you. That's what they're going to do, but that's running out. That's running dry. That is not going to work if affordability, healthcare access, and economic development and things like that every Republican is for, if you don't start talking about those issues. Shelley Winter Show. I'll take your calls next.